We've got Canelo Alvarez versus Callum Smith. Canelo, it's crazy his record for his age. 53-1 with 36 knockouts against Callum Smith, who's the current super middleweight champ of the WBA. He's also got the Ring Magazine belt. He is 27-0 with 19 knockouts. This is an entertaining fight, a good matchup at super middle. Good test for Canelo. I think my own personal opinion is he gets him out of there, but I think it's an incredible test and an incredible payday, I'm sure, for Callum Smith. Again, check out my bookie. Use the promo code Atlas, mybookie.ag for 100% credit on your first deposit up to $1,000. We got Callum Smith, Teddy, plus 475, minus 700 on Canelo. Is Callum Smith at plus 75 enough for you to give him a chance to beat Canelo?
I don't think plus 100 million would be enough to give him a chance to take a decision against right now the biggest pay-per-view fighter in the business, or argumentatively it could be Joshua when it comes down to when the big fight is made. But I mean, definitely definitely the golden goose for years in boxing has been Canelo, and to slaughter that golden goose, it's gonna, with the judges in cooperation with it, it's gonna take quite a bit. It's gonna take quite a bit, for that to happen, because the powers that be will make sure that Canelo does not lose a decision as long as he's still standing or being helped to stand, maybe. But that doesn't mean that he can't legitimately lose the fight, and it could be controversial. We could fight about it. We could argue about it. We've seen that before. We could say it was a terrible robbery. We've seen that before. We could say all those things, and it surely doesn't mean it can't be a competitive fight. And a fight that, yeah, you can lay some of your money down, getting a good bang for your buck, and take a shot, and feel that you're warranted in taking that shot. Yes, I would say, yeah, you can do that. Why? Outside of what I just described as, the powers that be in boxing, most likely not allowing the golden goose to go cooked in a decision, but for him to have a chance to win the fight, yes, legitimately, yes. Why? Well, he's young, he's undefeated, he hasn't learned how to lose yet, he's got a world title, super middleweight, he's a bigger guy, he's a naturally bigger guy than Canelo, and he's hungry, but he's got good assets. He's a big guy who can punch. He's got good reach. He's 6'2", I think, maybe a little more. He's got good height.
6'3".
6'3". He's got good range. He's got a good jab. He's got a nice, straight, sneaky right hand. Beautiful counter left hook. Really nice counter left hook. Made me think a little bit of Ryan Garcia with his great counter hook as a lightweight. But this guy's a super middleweight. Nice counter left hook. Fundamentally solid. He stands straight up, looks pretty. Maybe that's not good, but he looks like the old European, not European, but the old English fighters that stood straight up and were very traditional. He stands straight up, but he covers up really well. Doesn't leave any windows open. No leaks in his guard. He's almost in a peekaboo type. Really tucked up pretty good. I would say very good, actually. The fault failing I see is he doesn't move his head much. That he does rely mostly on blocking and control range. Does a good job of control range. Also shows a capacity to fight inside when he has to. So he is taught well. He is technically really solid.
One thing worth noting, you just said he was, as we said, he's 6'3". Canelo's only 5'8".
Yeah.
7-inch height difference.
Well, he's going to have to use that height to kind of keep Canelo at the end of his punches and make Canelo pay a price to make real estate in this fight to get close to him.
The other thing I wanted to point out, as you said, slim chance that Callum Smith would ever get a decision unless he maybe knocked him down in every single round. Worth noting, Canelo Alvarez never been down. The only time he was really looked like he was in serious trouble, and he bounced right back from it, but of course he was probably 13 years old at the time. In 2010, Miguel Cotto had him hurt very badly, but Canelo shook it off and still won the fight. When I say hurt badly, I don't know if you remember it. The ropes kept him up, and then after the ropes kept him up, Cotto hit him with probably 3 or 4 bombs right after it, and Canelo eventually shook it off and got the win. But
Canelo's got a tremendous chin and heart. There's no two ways about it. And he's improved as a fighter, which is a compliment to his trainer. He's improved something that Triple G didn't do. Maybe Banks will, even at a late stage. It's difficult to teach an old dog new tricks, but maybe Banks can do something. But his trainer for all those years did not do that with Triple G. That's where Canelo had a little edge. Even though I thought Triple G won those 2 fights, I'll say it again, with Canelo. But I saw Canelo continue to get better, where Triple G just continued to rely on being strong, tough, good puncher, and experienced and big heart, but never got better. Never improved in the areas that, as a trainer, I want to see fighters improve. And you're supposed to see them improve. But right now, as far as Canelo, I think that the early rounds are going to be a problem, finding the key to the door with that, solving the distance issue, the range issue with
Callum Smith.
Yeah, Callum Smith. I think that right now, it'll take him some rounds to figure that out, to use his jab. I'm sure his trainer tell him that, even though he's a taller guy, bigger guy, you got to do a Tyson on him to a certain extent. When Tyson was Tyson, take his jab away where you slip and you're able to still out jab him. Don't let him dictate control range with the jab. Use your jab to make sure that doesn't happen. Look to counter right hands over his jab. It will be an interesting fight, a very interesting fight. Again, Smith's got youth. He's got the reach. He's got the height. He's got a good straight right hand. He's got a good left hook counter. He knows how to go inside if he has to, but he likes to control range. He's got a good jab, which will be an asset towards controlling that range. He's naturally the bigger guy. The one thing that hurts him is, as I touched earlier, he doesn't move his head a lot. But I think that will give an opportunity for the X factor. And the X factor for me in this fight will be Canelo finding a spot for his Sunday punch, the left hook to the liver, where Smith, somewhere along the line, will give him that landing strip. If you have a plane, you need a landing strip to land it. And if you have a left hook, you need a landing strip. And I think he'll be on the search for that landing strip, Canelo, and he'll use his experience and his aggression in a smart way. And finally, he'll find that landing strip when Callum Smith does that peekaboo and he gives you the body a little bit, doesn't move. And once he can do that and zero into that left hook to the liver, to me, that could be the turning point. I would look for that to be the turning point. The other thing is, obviously, that Smith's got, I mentioned all his positive attributes. The thing that works against him is the same thing that works for him. He's young. and he's not experienced. You look at his resume, the best guy he's fought is George Groves, who I never thought a lot of. He was a European champion over there, and I don't know if he had a world title for a minute, but George Groves was just a game serviceable guy. That was his probably best guy on on a resume, and George Groves was probably already shop one, already past his best. But again, George Groves, those type guys to me were never anything great. They were just good, solid, serviceable guys, but nothing real special as far as special ability or special level. And now he's going into a special ability, special level. He's never been in there with that level before. He's never been on that kind of stage before. Uh, that's going to be something to deal with for Callum Smith. But again, I think it's an interesting fight.